Hey everyone, welcome to Skein Spider. This is part 3 of the Mandrake sapling pattern and tutorial. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, check those out first, but if you have, grab your hooks and let's get started. The final bit of crochet we need to do is for the leaves. We're going to make 3 different sizes. We're going to make a small leaf, a medium leaf, and a large leaf. And you can make as many of each size as you want on your mandrake. For all the leaves, we're going to start with a chain, but then we're going to work in the round. We're going to start with the small leaf. So make a slip knot. Whoops, try that again. A slip knot, and then we're going to chain 8. We're going to begin by working into the 4th chain from the hook. So count down, you've got 1 on your hook, 2, 3, and then 4. This 4th one is the first one I'm going to work into. And into that 4th chain, we're going to put 3 double crochet, all in that one stitch. One, 2, and 3. In the next chain down, we're going to do 1 half double crochet. In the chain after that, also a half double crochet. In the next 2 chains, we're going to do a single crochet in each, 1 and 2. After those 2 single crochet, you should have 1 chain left. What we're going to do is picot stitch into that. Now to begin, all we're going to do is another single crochet, and then after that you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Into the first chain that we made, we're then going to single crochet into the back bump here. Now what the back bump is, if you look at the front of your stitches, you'll see the front and the back loop, which creates that little V shape. What you want to do is turn that over so it's facing down, and at the back of those stitches, or rather those loops, you'll see a little bump at the back here, going vertically straight down. That's where we want to work into, that's the back bump. So once again, chain 3, find the first chain you made, 1, 2, 3, so which will be this one. We're going to turn that over, and then into the back bump. Another single crochet, and then from here what we're going to do is rotate our leaf, and we're going to start to work back down the other side of the stitches. So into the very first one, we're going to finish our picot stitch by single crocheting into that, and I'm just going to work over this tail end so I don't have to worry about weaving it in later. 1, and from this point all we're going to do is reverse the pattern we did up the other side. So we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 2 chains, followed by 2 half double crochet, and then in the very last stitch we're going to put 3 double crochet. To finish off, I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet we did in our first chain. And then leave a tail for sewing. You can also, if you worked over your tail end, cut that off. However, if you didn't work over it, You're going to grab your needle and weave that end in to hide it. For the medium leaf, begin by chaining 11 or a slip knot and then chaining 11. Once again, we're going to work into the 4th chain from the hook, so count the one on your hook, 1, 2, 3 and 4 into this one here, and we're also going to do 3 double crochet into that. Into the next chain down, we're going to do 1 double crochet, followed by a half double crochet in the next 3 chains. After that, we're going to do 3 single crochet. And then in the last chain, we're going to do another picot stitch. So begin with the single crochet. And just like we did before, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Into the first chain we made, this one down here, we're going to work into the back bump, so turn your work over. Go underneath that little bump behind the front and the back loop. There we go. When you finally get your hook in there, we're going to single crochet. And then finish the picot stitch by rotating your leaf and then working a single crochet into the very first chain. Again, like we did last time, we're just going to reverse the pattern we did on this side. So we're going to start with 3 single crochet, followed by 3 half double crochet, one double crochet, and then in the very last chain we're going to put 3 double crochet. Finish off by slip stitching into the top of the very first double crochet that we did, and again leave a tail for sewing. To make the large leaf, we're going to begin with 15 chains. This time we're going to begin from the 5th chain on the hook. So count the loop that's already on your hook. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're starting one further down because we're beginning with a triple crochet this time. To do that, you're going to yarn over twice, once, twice, and then go into the 5th chain from your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through, and at this point you should have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. This will leave you with 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, pull through 2 loops, and this will leave you with 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and then pull through both of those loops. We're going to do 2 more triple crochet in that same stitch, so yarn over twice, 1, 2, into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through the last 2. 1 more, yarn over twice, after we do those 3 triple crochet in the same chain, we're going to do another triple crochet in the next chain down. We're going to follow that up with 3 double crochet in the next 3 chains. We're going to do a half double crochet in the next 3 chains down. After this, we're going to do 3 single crochet. And then, like with the small and the medium leaf, we're going to do a picot stitch into the last chain. So single crochet first, chain 3, working into the back bump of the first chain, single crochet, and then our next single crochet is going to be into the first chain on the other side of our original chain. Once again, reverse the pattern, so we're going to begin with 3 single crochet, 3 half double crochet, 3 double crochet, 1 triple crochet, and then in the last chain we're going to do 3 triple crochet all in that chain. And then, like we did with the other leaves, you're going to slip stitch at the top of the first triple crochet that we did, and leave a tail for sewing. Go ahead and make as many leaves as you'd like in whatever colours you like. I'm only going to do 6 because I'm making sort of an autumn theme mandrake and I don't want a lot of leaves on there. But you can make as many size as you like. Once you've done that, we're going to start assembling our mandrakes. The first thing I'm going to do is prepare the eyes. I'm going to sew the white of the eye to the backing and then add some detail. I'm going to have my whites sit on the inside of the backing, but you can place them in the center or off to the side, entirely up to you. So you're going to hold or pin that in place and then sew the white onto the backing. Once you're done, you're just going to weave your end through the back of the stitches behind the eye, or tie it off if you prefer. And then if you'd like, you can go ahead and add some detail with some black or whatever colour yarn that you like. After we've put the eyes together, we're then going to sew them onto the face. You're going to put the top of the eye, the flat part, right up against the underneath of the eyebrow. So you want to push it up as far up as you can go, and the side of the eye about 1 stitch back from the nose. And then when that's done, you're going to sew it on. After you've sewn on the eyes, if you are using the crochet version, we're then going to begin shaping the face. To do that, you're going to grab your needle and you're going to thread your needle with a length of yarn that is the same colour as the body. We're going to begin by taking our needle and inserting it into the top of the head, just a couple of rounds up from where the eyebrow is. And from there, we're going to go straight through until we emerge slightly off center, so I'm going to the right of the center of the eyebrow ridge here. And what you're going to do is pull your yarn through and leave a tail sticking out from this original stitch we went into. This tail just needs to be long enough that you can knot it off at the end so you can tie it off. Once you've pulled that through, our next step is going to be to go into the stitch, so straight down into the stitch that's just above the nose. So you can see where we've done the double crochet and the half double crochet here. I'm going to work into this round here, so just above the nose. I'm going to go into that stitch and then across one to the left. Push your needle through, pull the yarn through, Once again, make sure this doesn't pull all the way through. From here, we're going to go directly up into the stitch that is next to, or just to the left of, the original eyebrow stitch we worked through. And into there. And then from there, I'm going to go out of the very first stitch we worked into where our tail still is. So once you've done all that, you should see we've got two pieces of yarn here. They should be visible. What you're going to do then is grab both your tail end, the original tail end, and the yarn that's still on your needle, and we're going to pull those firmly. Now as you pull, the eyebrow ridge should go down and the nose should be coming up. Keep pulling until you reach the desired amount of frowny face. Now what you can do at this point is tie these two ends off and then secure the end in the body, but instead, just to make the face a little bit more secure, I'm going to go back into those stitches. So from here to the first one, and then I'm going to pull tightly, and I'm going to go across one, pull tightly, back up to the left one at the top of the eyebrow ridge, and then out of the top again. I'm just going to do this a second time just for security's sake, but you can do it once more or you can do it only once if you want to. Once you've got that nice and secure, go ahead and tie these ends off. Just snip off the excess. Grab your crochet hook, and then we're just going to pull the knot back into the body. And that's how we shape the grumpy face. Our next step is going to be to attach the mouth. We're going to put pin markers in place between rounds 21 and 22. So start at round 1 at the top and count out 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on until you get to round 21 and 22. Just place a pin there so you know that's where we're sewing the mouth to. And then we're going to take our mouth, thread the needle, and though the mouth curves sharply, as you can see here, we're actually going to sew that on straight across between rounds 21 and 22. So you will need to maneuver your work a little bit. We're going to need to fold the mouth in half. I like to have the end of the round off to the side here so it makes it easier to sew on. And then I'm going to take the center here and place that directly below I'm going to pin the center in place, and then I'm going to work through both the front stitches here and also the back stitches here that we can't see. And then keeping the mouth centered, I'm going to bring the side down and I'm going to begin sewing into this space between rounds 20 and 21. And again, I'm going to work back up through the stitches on this hidden half here and up through the front ones. To finish off, you can either weave in your end, or if you don't want to leave this part open, you can use the tail end to sew the mouth to the bottom of the nose here, but that's entirely up to you. When the mouth's sewn on, we're going to continue on with our shaping. We're going to shape the head by adding some wrinkles, and this shaping technique is going to be used on the arms, the legs, and the trunks as well. To begin, you're going to take another length of yarn in the body colour, and then wherever you'd like your wrinkle to be, all you're going to do, so I'm going to make one here, is you're just going to pinch the area together until it creates a little fold, very similar to how the ones we created crocheting look. What you're going to do is similar to how we did the shaping for the face. Go into the head in a stitch somewhere above your wrinkle or below, it doesn't really matter. And then you're going to go to what will be the top of your wrinkle. So I've created my wrinkle here. I'm going to use this stitch as the top. Once again, we're going to be leaving a tail out of that original stitch we worked into, just long enough to tie it off at the end. Whoops. From here, we're going to go one stitch over in the direction we want our wrinkle to be. So I'm making my wrinkle go in this direction to the left, but if you're going to the right, you're going to work to the right. From there, we're going to go to wherever the bottom of the wrinkle may be, and we're going to go out of the stitch that is directly below, or as directly as we can get, below the first one. So I've gone one over, and if you can see, the tip of my needle is below the first one I did. Once more, you're going to pull through. Pull fairly tightly, but do not let this end come through the body, otherwise you're going to have to start the whole process again. From here, I'm just going to do the same again. I'm going to go one stitch over, except this time I'm going to go back to the top of my work and go into the stitch that's directly above the one I've just worked into. So you can see with my needle, I'm going straight up. And again, you're going to pull firmly. And all you're going to do is repeat this pattern for as long as you want your wrinkle to be. And you can see that as I work across, that I'm creating wrinkles, again similar to how these ones look. But with the wrinkles shaped in this way, we can choose where we want them to be. Now, if you only cut a short length of yarn, you can finish off like we did with the face. You're going to take your needle and thread, or needle and yarn as it were, and go back out of this original stitch, tie it off and pull the knot back into the head. However, I cut an extra long bit of yarn because I'm going to add some additional wrinkles. You're going to create them the same way you did this one. So if I create one here, all I'm going to do is go into the last stitch I worked, so it's this one here, and then I'm going to insert my needle or push my needle through the body and out of whatever stitch is going to become the top of the next wrinkle. So I've pulled my yarn through and I'm going to create a wrinkle here, and all I'm going to do is repeat the same process I used to create this one on this second wrinkle. I'm just going to add one more wrinkle here, so I'm going to do the same thing. Go into the last stitch I worked, push my needle through. This time I'm going to be using the bottom of the wrinkle, and pull my yarn firmly, and again repeat the process. When you've created all your wrinkles, we're just going to work our needle back to the original stitch and then out that same stitch. Tie off the yarn. I like to do 3 or 4 knots just so it's nice and secure. Grab your crochet hook again and just pull that knot back into the head. Now we can start sewing on all the limbs. We're going to sew on the legs first. Now these can be either sewn on at the front so your mandrake is sitting down, or they can be sewed on at the bottom for a standing mandrake, which is where I'm going to be sewing them. With all the limbs, so the legs, the arms, the branches, the fingers, everything, there's no exact round placement. It's all down to how you'd like your mandrake to look. So you can stick the legs right underneath, sort of towards the front of the body here, entirely up to you. Just choose where you'd like them to sit and then go ahead and pin them in place. And then when they're in a position that you're happy with, go ahead and sew those on. After the legs, we're going to attach the arms and the fingers. The arms can be placed in a couple of different ways. You can put them on the side of the body or the front of the body. You can also have the piece open and sew them on that way, or you can squash the top flat and sew them on like so, which is what I'm going to do. So choose where you'd like to have your arms, pin them in place, and then go ahead and sew those on as well. You're going to place the fingers on the end of the arms, and then you're going to sew those on as well. Next, we're going to attach the trunk pieces to the top of the head. I'm going to put one either side of round one, but depending on how many you made, you may change where you want to put yours. Also, if you crocheted the branch pieces using the finger and toe pattern, you're going to sew those on afterwards, the same way that we sewed on the fingers to the arms. The last things we need to attach are the leaves. You're going to attach them directly to the trunk, or if you crochet the branches, to the end of those. Now that the mandrake is all sewn together, we're just going to add the finishing touches. The first one is going to be to add some wrinkles to the legs, the arms and the trunks, and we're going to do that the same way we added the wrinkles to the head. So you're going to thread your needle with some of the yarn that's in the body colour and pinch to create the wrinkle, and go into the body with your needle and then leave a tail and use the same technique to create the wrinkles here as we did here. The final touch is going to be to add the roots to the end of the toes, the fingers and the arms. To do that, you're going to need your body colour yarn and your hook. And all you're going to do is insert your hook into the end of the toes. Take your yarn and line it up behind the hook. And you're going to join it to the toe with a slip stitch. So pull it through the stitch and then slip stitch to secure it. Begin chaining. You can do as many chains as you like. I like to do somewhere between 9 and 15. That was 15. Once you're done, you're going to cut a bit of a tail and then pull straight up with your hook. To secure the root, you're just going to knot it off at the end of the chain. And that's all you need to do to create the roots. With the end bit, you can weave it back into the body if you like, but I like to leave it there for a bit of extra decoration. I usually like to do between about 2 and 5 roots at the end of each of the limbs, but it's entirely up to you how many you do. And with the roots done, your mandrake is all finished. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. See you all next time.